Yeah. So basically, let's just use a few remaining minutes and tell me, because the topic is really ideally alternative to refugee camps. We do provide all this assistance, but can you give me ideas? What do you think can be done to refugees? Of course, besides them living in camps, what do you think that the Kenyan society can do to assist refugees? Who wants to do it in very quickly, very short and very quickly? Yeah? Say your name.
My name's Nelson Mbatia. So for me, my idea is, because mostly when refugees run away from their country due to civil war or other circumstances and come to a country which is financially able, economically able, and politically able to assist them, but they tend to find resistance from the citizens themselves from that country, and some things like xenophobia occur, where the refugees are killed. For me, I can say what the UN can do is start on a simulation academy, where you try to integrate them into the Kenyan culture, integrate them into what Kenyans do, a cultural exchange program for them to learn more about Kenyan, for Kenyans to learn more about them. Try to create unity among them.
Wow, give a hand clap. Thank you, I really appreciate that. Somebody else? An idea of what Kenyans can do?
Adding to what he has said, you can also organize organizations that offer mind-setting programs and talks that can change their minds. Like, see, the refugees, when they are there, their minds have so many things, and their feelings also change. So the talks can also change their lives, and also try give them land and build houses for them to live, to make them one community.
That's all very true. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So because of time, we want to finish here, but we'll continue to have a conversation before we leave, right? Thank you very much. Give a hand clap to yourself. Thank you.
Oh, let's give him a big round of applause once again. So, of course, I believe that we've learned a lot, and looks like we have sharp students around here. So, viewers, you've heard the topic. Again, if you have any questions regarding the refugee camps, please just feel free to send your questions or your comments to SMS line, which is 21144. I'd say that we've heard from the topic of the day that a refugee is someone like you and me. Do not despise them, because they did not choose. They did not choose just to become refugees. They were there because of circumstance. It can happen to you or me. But first things first, of course, please just stand up, introduce yourself, and tell us what you've learned from today's topic.
Hi, my name is Emma. I've learned today about refugees. I didn't know actually that there are so many refugees in Kenya, but even the definition. But now I've learned it, and it was mind-blowing. So I learned that we need to protect the refugees, since they're also facing many problems. Thank you.
Okay, let's give a big round of applause. Of course, we have a gentleman there with a black suit. I love your tie. You look fantastic. Of course, please introduce yourself. You stand up, introduce yourself, and tell us what you've learned from today's topic. I love your confidence. Whoa.
Hi.
Hi.
As I said that my names are Steven. So maybe we might be young, but maybe you have something very special that we hold in our heart,
right,
that can help the refugees.
Right.
I really appreciate him. He should come more
often.
Yes, so
Fun.
that, yes.
Fantastic. Let's give him a big round of applause. So without wasting time, this takes us to the next session of the program, where I get to just welcome the panelists. So of course, please let's give our panelists a big round of applause as they come on board. Okay, so first introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Yes, hello everyone. Yes, nice to see all of you. Yes, my name is Johan Kim. Currently, I am working as a director of IOIF and also director of International Mind Education Institute. Nice to meet with all of you.
Okay, let's give our director a big round of applause. Great, so once again introduce yourself and tell us
Yes,
what you do.
my name again is Duke Mwancha. I realize that most of you did not catch my name. Duke Mwancha is the spokesperson for UNHCR, mainly doing communications and external relations. Very nice to be here. Nice to have a chat with you.
Okay, let's give him a big round of applause. Okay, I have a lot of questions. I've done research about the refugee camps, both in Dadaab and Kakuma. But before that, I think it will be just for the sake of our viewers who are joining us right now. So please, maybe you can give us a definition of a refugee once again.
Well, according to the 1951 Refugee Convention and its 1967 protocol, and also borrowing from the 1969 OAU Convention, a refugee is a person that is fleeing persecution and forced to flee from his or her habitual residence
Right.
and country to find asylum in another country.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, please, let's give our guest a big round of applause. So back to you, Director. Maybe you say that you're the Director for Mind Institute Education. So maybe you can tell us what type of mindset should we have towards refugees? Because most of us actually despise just the refugees, the refugees, and we think that they're there by choice. So what type of mindset should one have towards the refugees?
Yes, I believe that refugees, they've traveled also a long distance.
Right.
And then, as Mr. Duke has mentioned, refugees are the ones who is running away from the persecutions and difficulties and the situation that is happening in their country. So already their heart has already weakened as well. I cannot say that everyone's heart is like that, but I believe that many people's refugees' hearts is already in difficulties and weakened because of those kind of difficulties and sufferings, and they probably do not know what to do from here this point on.
Right.
And so I believe that yes, they might need medical attention. Yes, they might need education also while they're in refugee camp. But the most important thing is hope. I believe that continuously giving them the mindset and build them the strong mindset so that they can have a great hope inside of their heart is actually the most important thing.
Right.
I heard this one article. There was a ship which has got into an accident and then it was drowning. So there were a few people who survived from that accident that they were actually hanging on the flank of those ships. And then they stayed there for 2-3 days. But people, psychologists, they say that most of the time when they get into such kind of accident,
Right.
in the middle of the sea, to your west is still a sea, to your left, to your right, to everywhere around you is only water, water, water. There is no hope of people coming to save you.
Right.
But now, what had really saved them, although there was no food, no water, and if they had actually fallen asleep, they probably actually frozen to death.
Right.
Because in the evening, temperature goes really down. But the reason why they were able to survive is because they had hope that someone will come and save them.
Right.
So that's why I believe that also to our refugees, if we can continuously speak to them and also give them the mindset education so that they can have the strong mindset and to have hope inside of their heart. I believe that hope will also guide them and also change them. And when the right opportunity comes, I believe that this hope is going to be an energy to push them forward as
Right.
well. So I think also this mindset education is as important as medical attention to
Right.
the refugees as well.
Okay, let's give our director a big round of applause. I spoke with you yesterday, Duke, and you told me that a refugee, of course, to our knowledge, is supposed to be a temporary place for the refugees, but nowadays it's a permanent place. Now, what do you think are some of the challenges that is making just the refugee camps become permanent? Because you're supposed to be there for some time, and after some time you're supposed to leave. But nowadays It has been there from the 1990s up to now. Now, what is organization doing about that?
Well, you're quite right that refugee camps are supposed to be temporary emergency places where people fleeing conflict should come and seek asylum and soon after find durable solutions. And by durable solutions that I mean either they, when things become normal in their own home country, they go back, or if the government agrees to make them citizens, it makes them citizens and allows them to move across the country, do business, establish their lives. Or if other countries, especially the rich countries, agree to come take them and resettle them from their own countries. Well, some of that usually happens, but unfortunately, it's not enough to provide durable solutions for the kind of population that we have in refugee camps. And because the situation in their home countries continues to persist, you know about Somalia, you know about South Sudan, and of course, if somebody says that they have fear, of course they have said, and you cannot dispute that. So we continue to allow them to live, and they can only go back voluntarily. Unfortunately, some of them have lived for more than 25 years now, close to 25. Dadaab is marking 25 years since it was established in 1991. In those camps, we have people who are born there, they have grown, they have become adults, they are now married and they have their own children, and they don't know any other place besides those camps. They have not even gone back or tried to go back to their home countries. So we call it a protracted refugee situation. Of course, it's a big challenge. It's not only in Kenya, but it's in other jurisdictions as well. Right. And we are trying now to think of what is it that we can do to this population? Because really, it's dehumanizing to have people living in such conditions for a very long time. Having a third generation now starting their life again, or fourth generation beginning their lives in refugee camps.
Right.
There should be alternatives to refugee camps. And this is now what we're trying to seek by working with you guys, creating hope for these refugees, showing them the possibility of, things can happen, good things can happen to their lives, teaching them business skills, perhaps so that one day if they happen to choose to go back to their country, they have somewhere to begin from.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's give you a big round of applause. Just back to you before I go to director over here. According to human rights, they found out that that sexual violence and rape is mostly experienced in both Dadaab and Kakuma. Now, what maybe your organization is doing just to see that those people are not molested?
Well, we do experience, or rather we do get reports of gender-based violence-related cases.
Right.
It's not unique to refugee camps, but it's more highlighted in refugee camps because these are populations that have come from conflict zones. And as you can imagine, conflict zones, war-torn countries, war-torn areas, people are likely to be subjected to violence, all kinds of violence, but mainly gender-based violence. And therefore, because of this, sometimes, unfortunately, that also is brought over to refugee camps, and women experience that, but not only women, but also men.
Right.
We do try to provide education, gender education, just to sensitize the young people that, look, we do not always have to resort to violence. There should always be consent. There are cases of forced marriage when young girls who are less than 18 years old sometimes get married off without their consent.
Right.
Such are things that happen in refugee camps, but not only refugee camps, also within Kenyan communities. But considering that we are a protection agency and what we do to these people, considering that they have come from, they have gone through a lot,
right,
we try to put measures that can put that to a stop. Because you can imagine somebody who was fleeing conflict, lost parents, lost children, and then at the same time they come to refugee camps and they get subjected to gender-based violence, it becomes quite a burden. So ideally, our protection work is surrounded by coming up with initiatives that can educate these young people, give them hope, and try to, move them away from acts of violence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's give a big round of applause. Viewers, remember the topic of the day is refugee camps. If you have any questions regarding the topic, please feel free to send your questions or your comments to SMS line, which is 211-44, and we are going to sample them. Back to you, Pastor. We have 5 levels of the mindset. And now what is the type of mindset when someone looks at a refugee and despises them? What is this person suffering from?
Yes, actually, you can say that this is the 5th level of mindset. Because the 5th level of mindset, we say that that is a mindset of being abnormal mindset. What is that abnormal mindset? That is being addicted to game, drug, and gambling, and so on.
Right.
But not only that, 5th level of mindset, the reason why people fall into those kind of addiction is because they have the mindset of over-trusting in themselves. Yes. So why can people easily just despise the people in the refugee camp? Is because they're trusting in themselves,
right,
thinking that they are different from them,
right,
thinking that they are better than them. In fact, as Mr. Duke had also explained, and they are also the people, we are also the people, and they also have the human rights. We also have the human rights.
Right.
But because of 1 or 2, 3 conditions that we have and which they don't have, we think we are better than them, and thinking that